باید بدانید که در میان تمامی گزارشات مبنی بر مشاهده یوفوها یا همان اشیاء پرنده یک گزارش بسیار حیرت‌آور و جنجالی شد. اما نه بابت مشاهده آنچه پرنده، بلکه آن گزارش حاوی پیامی از طرف آن موجودات بیگانه برای بشریت بود و آن پیام دقیقاً از طرف خالق همین جهان بود. اوایل دسامبر دلم خواست کمی هوا بخورم. تصمیم گرفتم در اطراف کوههای آتشفشان کلرمون-فرآند فرانسه نزدیک محل زندگی پیاده روی کنم. بنابراین به یک آتشفشان در شمال کلرمون-فرآند رفتم. در حین پیاده روی چیز درخشانی در آسمان دیدم و شدیداً ترسیدم. قصد داشتم آنجا را ترک کنم اما نتوانستم. واقعاً نمیدانم چرا نرفتم. این موجودات مشتاق برقراری ارتباط با ما انسان‌ها هستند. آنها ما را خلق کردند. برای ساخت چنین داستانی قطعاً باید تخیل بسیار قوی داشته باشم. در 13 دسامبر سال 1973 درست زمانی که گزارشات مبنی بر مشاهده اشیاء ناشناس پرنده به اوج خود رسیده بود، کلاد واریلهون مدعی ملاقات با الوهیم یا همان موجودات بیگانه شد. او مدعی شد که آنها به من پیامی دادند که باید منتشر کنم و در ادامه گفت که اکنون دیگر نمیتوانیم به خدایی که در آن بالای ابرها و با ریش سفید نشسته است باور داشته باشیم.
On the 13th of December 1973, French journalist Claude Vorilhon was driving through the volcanic area of Clermont-Ferrand, central France, when he had a sudden urge to take a walk at the Puy de la Sola. Suddenly, he noticed a bright, flashing light in the sky, heading in his direction. And as it got closer, he saw that it was made of a grey metallic substance, the shape of a flattened bell. His curiosity turned to anticipation as the machine approached him, until when, about 30 meters away, it stopped and hovered, still, just above the ground. A trapdoor opened below, unfolding into a staircase. What at first Claude thought was a child stepped down and walked straight towards him. At a loss what to do, Claude acted as a true journalist and asked, "Where do you come from?"
From very far away, and I have come to talk to you, Claude Vorilhon.
They talked. Claude was invited into the craft, and over the next 6 consecutive days, the extraterrestrial
humanity. You mistook us for gods. We were the ones who started all the religions on earth. And now that humanity is capable of understanding this, we would like you to build an embassy where we can land officially in front of everyone. A long time ago on our planet, we had reached a stage similar to the one you are in now. Our scientists were beginning to design life through the synthesis of DNA. The whole of our society watched with fascination as they created more and more sophisticated organisms, until one day they made a mistake. From then on, public opinion turned against these scientists, and they were forced to take their experiments elsewhere. They finally found a planet suitable for the creation of life. It was your Earth, and at the time had no life on it at all. It was completely covered with water and clouds.
Many ancient texts point to the work of these scientific creators. Let's open the Bible at the book of Genesis, chapter 1, verse 12.
They divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament.
The waters below was the ocean. The waters above were the clouds.
We dug with the help of enormous underwater explosions, creating huge holes into which the waters rushed, allowing dry land to emerge. An island formed, a continent, the original single continent.
Let the waters under heaven be gathered together into one place, and let dry land appear. Genesis 1:9.
On this single landmass, we set up 7 laboratories, one for each of our own 7 races, and began our experiments synthesizing life. We started by making simple life forms such as viruses and bacteria, and as we progressed in our research, we made more complicated organisms, plants, fish, reptiles, birds, and eventually mammals, daring each time to make an even more beautiful and sophisticated model of living art. Life did not evolve. It simply followed the inspiration of our chemical artists, who integrated and adapted each new prototype to survive in the overall ecology. Fragrances, shapes, colors, styles, textures, movements, even mating rituals were all made to have beauty, harmony, and balance. Seeing this incredible progress, opinions were divided in our government as to whether this artificial life was safe for us. Would the created destroy the creators? We decided to allow our scientists to continue their experiments as long as they did not create any intelligent life. But the temptation was too strong for these scientists and artists, who were impassioned by their work of populating a virgin world. So one day, some of them decided to disregard their orders and synthesize intelligent people like themselves.
Let us make man in our image after our likeness. Genesis 1:26.
Our government was extremely alarmed when it heard about this. How could we be sure that the human beings that had been created would not become a threat to us? For our own security, we told our scientists to keep these human beings in ignorance of any scientific knowledge. They were even told to make these people whom they had created believe that we were almighty gods, so as to be sure they would respect us.
Of every tree in the garden you may freely eat, but of the tree of knowledge of good and evil you shall not eat of it, for on that day you shall surely die. Genesis 2:17.
At the time, the human beings called these extraterrestrials Elohim, which in ancient Hebrew meant those who come from the sky. It's found in the original Bibles, but in more recent times was mistranslated by the word God. It's important to realize that this is a plural, the singular being Eloha. References to the Elohim can also be found in other ancient texts. For example, in the writings of the Hindu, Greek, Egyptian, and Amerindian civilizations. We can read even today about the many gods who had human emotions and who lived near or with these human beings. These gods talked to human beings and even had relations with them.
When our scientists created people like ourselves, opinion on our planet became divided. Could we trust human beings? But there was a group of scientists who had begun to deeply love the human beings they had made. They wished to give them scientific knowledge so that they would be able to communicate as equals. Their love grew so much that this group decided to educate some humans and reveal to them the truth that creators and created are exactly the same.
The serpent said unto the woman, Of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden you shall not surely die, for Elohim both know that in the day that you eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and you shall be as gods. Genesis 3:4.
In other words, you shall be as those you mistook for gods.
If you entered this laboratory, you would realize that we are just like you, and one day you too will create life. You are just another link in the chain. The eternal cycle of creation continues.
به هر حال در فصل اول از عهد عتیق می‌خوانیم در آغاز الوهیم زمین و آسمان‌ها را خلق کردند و در پیدایش می‌بینیم که کلمه عبری الوهیم در فارسی خدا ترجمه می‌شود. و این سومین واژه‌ای است که در تورات آمده است و به خدای اسرائیل اشاره دارد که همان الله خدای مسلمانان است. او میگوید برای اینکه انسان‌ها حرف‌هایم را باور کنند، آنها مرا با بشقاب پرنده به سیاره‌ای که در آنجا بودند بردند و علم شبیه سازی را به من یاد دادند. پس از آن او کمپانی کلوناین را در سال 1996 تأسیس کرد، در حالی که چند ماه قبل از تأسیس کمپانی اولین حیوان را شبیه سازی کرده بود. در سال 2002 بود که اولین انسان را شبیه سازی کرد، دختری به نام حوا که اکنون در کشور اسرائیل زندگی می کند و این صحت اظهارات او را تایید می نماید. رائل میگوید ادیان یهودیت، اسلام، مسیحیت و بودا توسط الهیم برای تکامل بشریت به پیامبران داده شده است و حتی بعدها به او نام رائل یعنی پیامبر یا پیامرسان دادند. بدین ترتیب او نام خود را به رائل تغییر داد و جنبشی به نام جنبش رائلیان راه اندازی کرد و پیروانی نیز به خود جذب کرده است. او در توصیف الهیم میگوید که ظاهری شبیه به انسانها دارند، اما در سطح بسیار بالاتری از توانمندی و تکنولوژی قابل درک ما. او میگوید که الهیم به من گفتند هیچ خدایی متعالی وجود ندارد جز الهیم و البته پیامی که آنها به رائل دادند تا منتشر کند خطاب به کشور اسرائیل است. این پیام میگوید قوم بنی اسرائیل تا سال 2035 فرصت دارد تا سفارتی برای آنها بسازد تا بتوانند خود را معرفی کرده و به طور مستقیم با بشریت در ارتباط باشند. اما آیا ممکن است که این سفارت همان معبد سوم سلیمان باشد؟ و یا اتفاقاتی که اکنون در اسرائیل شاهدش هستیم همه با هدف ساخت این سفارت باشد؟ در واقع در این باره ما ویدیویی تهیه کردیم و در این خصوص مطالب بسیار مهمی رو هم بیان کردیم و به عنوان بخش 11 از مجموعه ویدیوهای حقیقت آفرینش در کانال پست کردیم که متاسفانه یوتیوب آن را حذف کرد. موضوعاتی همچون ورود گاوهای سرخ و آنچه که از 8 آوریل حاشیه ساز شده است. ما آن ویدیو را اصلاح کردیم و اگر تمایل داشته باشید مختصری از آن را برای درک بهتر از مطالب پیش رو تماشا کنیم. اما